Welcome back to Design Loves Detail. I'm Molly and I am super excited today. I get excited a lot, but this is the extra amount of excitement because we have a finished space for you. This is the first of all the reveals that is a completed space, and it's also the entry, which is what started my whole vision for this house. I literally drew this, like I told you guys, first thing, and so I cannot wait to show you more. Let's get into that right now. We'd love to have you all like and subscribe to our channel because we're gonna have a whole bunch of reveals like this. If you're liking this content, I think you'll like what we have in store because we're really doing one room at a time, completing it, and then showing you how it kind of started and then how it looks decorated. So really fun part of the journey, I think. It's like what I've waited for anyways, for years. So let's get into the entry space. This one, like I was telling you, what happened was I started sketching when we thought about selling our last house, and I ended up drawing the staircase and kind of that whole setup and that whole look. And then another really important factor to this look was the symmetry of like the benches here and then the symmetry of these open shelves. And I really tailored our whole house to this. Okay, so let's talk here. So the shelves, these I got, this is old wood I mentioned, and they are, I need to measure, I think they're about 1.5 inches thick. Somebody asked the thickness of these. I really wanted something that had the character, and that's why they're all a little bit quirky. You'll actually see some of them have like, you know, nail holes or like little notches out of them or whatever. Some of this underneath here. I love that. I wanted the character. This house, the whole concept of this house was to create something that felt like it had history, at least the pieces in it, as if they'd lived another life and we kind of brought them all together. Because I love that. And I love the kind of idea of unearthing things. A lot of that artifact feel you'll kind of notice. I brought in a lot of things that we've kind of gotten like traveling and pieces like that. A little bit minimal, but still like I wanted more character. This house was just so much about texture, character, interest, and uniqueness, really making it feel like us. So hopefully you'll see that as we go through. But, and I'll tell you a little bit more of my overall vision too as we go through the different spaces. We can kind of cover a little bit here too. Of course, I did the picture lights up there. That was kind of to make this have a little more emphasis too. And they're just cute. Like a picture light really frames things out. So I use those a lot, and I loved it in this application because it's going to give us a little light in this area. In the evenings, it'll feel kind of charming. I like the charm. And you'll see a lot of European, Mediterranean influence in this house. I kept the shelves really, really basic. Maybe I can even do a video sometime if you guys want that. Comment if you do. I've done them before, but like I do feel it's been a while, and also that I do things maybe a little bit different now than I used to even. So I know those tips can be helpful because people get overwhelmed with shelves. So let me know if you want that. And you can just kind of soak it in. This part, let's talk about the table because this is kind of also crucial. I have always thought this is a cool thing, right? Like, cause it has a sense of grandeur, a table in the center, a round table in the center of an entry. I want to say that Lisa Vanderpump has this. I know that I've seen it like somewhere, and it like I associate it with her, and she's pretty great. I like her vibe because she kind of just does her own thing. I wanted to try this because I've never had an entry like it. And so every time I build a house, I want it to be its own thing. I'll bring pieces of every place we've built, every home we've built with me, but I like it to be its own thing. And so I really wanted to try something new, and this was very new. So I love it. It really does give a different feel to the space. You can just kind of see that this is such an entry moment. And in my last house, I did a little bit more minimal entry when you first came in, and then it kind of, anyway, you can go watch, just search entry in our videos and you kind of see how that one laid out. Very different. So I just really wanted to make this feel a little bit more of a moment. And I love it so much. I love it so much. Like I was just standing here today and I was like, I've never seen this before. Like I made something I've never seen before and it made me so happy. And like, if I could say anything, I know I'm getting really passionate right now, so just roll with me. But if I could just say anything, do your thing, because literally nobody is like you. Like you might feel like it's all been done, but it hasn't. It hasn't, because when I was standing in here, I was like, no, I've never seen this before. Like I did it. And it made me think of Walt Disney and like how like, you know, people like shut down his dream and then he like built Disneyland. And it's crazy, right? It's just crazy. I'm not trying to put myself on the level of Walt, just for the record. I'm just saying it is cool when you create something that you haven't seen before. And it's like your own piece of art. Sorry if that got weird. Let's come over to this side. Oh, they did. I didn't see that comment. I was not high or drunk in the making of the last video or any videos, as far as I know. So there you go. But I came this way, a little bit extra. So, although I have been accused of being boring too. Remember that one time? Jeez. Comments, man. Over here, back to the shelves. Okay, so on this side, of course, I think obviously when you have shelves like this, you want them to have some type of connection to each other, but not to be the same, because we already have the symmetry of the benches and the shelves. So this house really does bring a lot of asymmetry mixed with symmetry, which is kind of unique, I think. For instance, you know, that side has the staircase, this side has an arch. Like there's definitely some asymmetry in the interior and the exterior, but I like to bring elements of symmetry so that it kind of gives a little zen, kind of makes you go, because I actually like both. I like asymmetry and symmetry. And when you can use both, I kind of think that's top tier personally. So there's that. Over here, I did bring kind of some of the same pottery. These are ones that I've collected in different places. Most of them came from one of my suppliers, which I'm hoping to hook you guys up with, where I can sell you pieces like this that I can get them. I've been collecting them so that we can kind of put them in our Etsy shop or future site, like website shop, because I love to always provide you the sources of what I'm using in my home. And I want to still be able to do that even with the character pieces. Because like I said, I'm using more and more of those mixed with like, you know, modern stuff too. But anyway, so look forward to that. And anything that I can link for you, you can find always in the description. So reminder of that. And usually it's also on designlovesdetail.com over on our blog, just a blog. So yeah, so kind of brought in the pottery, the kind of artifact type pottery. You can see that there's some up there and then down here. So those kind of give us a little bit of cohesive feel between the two. And then books, a ton of books. I love books. Anyway, that probably covers that. And then let's talk, so we'll kind of come this way. There's just something about the whole feel. It almost feels like you're in a library or something, like you're in a, what's the word I want? Like I want it to feel like a home, but I like the feel of the collectedness of it, right? And so these benches are kind of play into that. I may do some pillows. I'm trying to decide too if I want like a rug here. So we're kind of like minimal right now, but sometimes that minimal is like my favorite state. Kind of just like edit it down to the bare essentials, and then you really appreciate each piece. For instance, like this plaster staircase here, I've thought about doing a mirror, and maybe I will, but like I've had the hardest time committing to something for there. So we'll see what happens. And then of course, you know, we also have the symmetry of the sconces and then our double arch door. We've talked about that a little bit, but just a reminder, if anybody wanted the paint color, this is Sherwin-Williams paved stone, kind of a gray with a slight green undertone, depending on what you pair it with. Let's head up the stairs because I consider this still part of the entry. Well, let me tell you one other thing. So when I designed this staircase, of course I drew it out, and there's always things that just between kind of the plans. If y'all have custom built, you'll know this, especially when you're like not basing your plan off of anything. Like I didn't even like take an existing and change it. I literally just drew it from scratch. Cool fact, I own the copyright to this house. So when you custom build, there's always things that like might be on the plan that like lays out great, but then like when it goes into construction phase, you have to kind of like work through some little details. Sometimes there's just like quirks of a house. And that was the case with this staircase. I had to like choose exactly what angle and where I wanted it to end and like how we were gonna do the stairs into. Anyway, it's shocking how many details there are. But one of the things that was kind of quirky was that we had this space as the curve goes. So we had to choose everything like I did. I say we, but Ben's moral support. How this curves and anyways, comes like this. Okay, so one of the quirky things was making, you know, the angles of this staircase worked out. And luckily, I think I've told you, our builder who's built all of our homes is Ben's brother, Spencer, with Clearstone Builders. And he's amazing, like so great. And so he and I always are like working through all these angles and things and quirks of the house. And so we like kind of were like, okay, this wall could either go down and follow the stairs where it would angle down, or it could come like this. Anyways, I said to him kind of jokingly one day, I was like, what if we make it like a plant trough, like a planter? And he's like, okay. And then like the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, wait, no, it'd be super cool. Like first I just said it totally joking. And then I was like, wait, Spencer, what if we did though? He's like, we could do it. He almost always says we could do it. Sometimes it's like, I know now if it's a hard no or a soft no. And this, I think it may have started as a no, but then it was a yes.
Sometimes it's a, you're crazy.
Yes, he does think I'm a little bit crazy, but then usually like on the last house, he like gave us a thank you ladder as a gift, very nice. And he left a note and it said like, this turned out even better than I expected. And I was like, right, Spence. Anyway, he's the best. If you guys are looking at custom building in Utah, I should link his site. Okay, so back to the plants. These are euonymus, I think, the variegated leaf. And I just found these the other day. We're gonna see how they do here. There is some sunlight that gets in. It's kind of dark right now because there's huge windows here, but I'm not sure how they do. So we'll kind of try that, but I might have to give a couple of things a shot here. You're just taking in the plants. I know, but don't you think this is kind of cool? Like, have you ever seen this in a house? I haven't. I'm sure to do this. But any other facts that anyone wants to know? I guess you could say it in comments. I kind of wish you guys could talk to me while I'm going through this. This, of course, is another favorite moment. This moment here with the, I have to get a little fuzzy off, the day bed. Again, totally like from my dreams, and now it's real. And I love the mix of the stone, like this rough material, with the softness of this kind of European tailored day bed. Just kind of surprising and yet so inviting. And I'm gonna totally spend a lot of time here, and I hope my kids do too, because it's just kind of a fun, dreamy spot. And I haven't been sure if I want to add anything because I kind of like the simplicity. Like I thought about, you know, a little tree or a floor lamp or, you know, something, but then just kind of keep keeping it simple because I don't know, simple's good. Let me know what you think though. And then we'll walk back down. I think that kind of covers that. I wanted to tell you a couple things. One, the next video is the guest suite. So behind these two, well, that door is the guest bedroom and the guest bathroom that I'm going to share with you. And that will be so fun, coming next week. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you're notified of the future videos. And I cannot wait to see you then.